Hello and welcome to our first English version of the YouTube videos. A few people were always complaining a little bit that the subtitles in English are pretty bad when you want to translate it from German to English, so we decided to make everything as good as possible in English. Today's topic is about how I was able to improve a lot in Slovakiaring. We had our test in May, and I was able to set the 205.7 on my R6 training bike. I was there alone with my training mechanic Christoph, without my World Supersport team, so I had to do everything by myself. And I was changing my lines quite a lot, which was helping immediately for the lap time. So today I'm going to show you what I've done different to the days before. In 2016, I was there and setting a 2-minute 18 lap time. So from 2016 to 2022, I was improving by a lot. The first part is quite easy, I would say. The braking point is much later than normal. You just brake later than the hill. It makes it much easier to get some braking stability because the rear is already going down the hill and not on the crest, and when you touch the brake you're not going to lift the rear. In the moment you brake, you try to reduce as much speed as possible to make it like a V, like some people are calling it the superbike line. So you try to make your line like a V, like that. You slow down really hard on the center of the corner. You try to change the line a little bit later to the inside to prepare the next corner. This is pretty important because here on that point the grip is quite bad, I would say. You have a lot of lean angle because the corner is about 180 degrees. So you try to be as much as possible on the correct line, I would say, but you still have to use a lot of space there. You come back a little bit later than normal and prepare that corner like that. You stay on the right side. It's really important that you are careful in the first few laps because this is the first left corner after a few right corners, and it's a quite, I would say, famous place for crashes. You go there in the left, and about that point there's a little bump, and a few people are going immediately, I would say, directly on the point, on the gas where the bump is coming. So you go on the gas and then you lift the front exactly on the point where the bump is, and you immediately push the front and you're going to crash. It's important here to close the gas a little bit earlier to get the bike into the corner, and then you go really hard on the gas to lift the front tire over the bump. So the fork is doing all the work, and at the end, I would say after the 5th or 6th session, I was not able to feel the bump anymore. It was quite easy to change the direction. So the line here is pretty easy. You go like that, you stay on the side, and from here you cut the corner like that. And on the red marker, from here to here, you need to be really hard on the gas. I had, I don't know, about 30 or 40 meters a power slide. Even on the R6 I was like 100% on full gas. Okay, you have some lean angle, but still you can keep the bike straight when you use some hang off. You can gain a lot of time here because, okay, on the line, on a track map it looks like a really long corner, but you can make it like a straight line, and you can open the gas a lot, and I'm pretty sure you can open on the superbike like 100% throttle, which is a lot of time gained, because when you are on 50-60% on throttle like that, you cannot generate any grip because you're not putting any force on the shock, and you can't go any drive, and you cannot make the tire last for, I don't know, for a race. So you would struggle a lot with a soft tire. Then you're going to brake here, and now it's really important to make almost same like on a corner before. It's also, I would say, more or less like a 180-degree corner. You prepared before because the most important here is again the left, like it was before. You need to go into the corner like that. You need to use also a lot of space, but be careful, the corner is pretty dirty on the outside. So when you go there, you just need to check if the line is already more or less clean to use a lot of space. Because normally it's a car track and they run much tighter lines than you do on a racing bike. Then you cross the track like that, and you can make here a straight line. So again, from that red marker to that red marker, you can open the gas 100%. When I was there, 2021, on the R6, I was doing 207.8, so around about 2 seconds slower, and I always struggled in that corner to keep it full gas, and I always said it's impossible to open with a 600 the throttle like 100% over the left. And this year I changed my line completely, like you see here. Just ride it more like a V, like a superbike line, and you can open the gas without any problems to 100%. Okay, you might have some little slides, but still you can open the gas completely. And then this was something where I gained a lot of time, because 2021 and also the years before, I was in that little hairpin. I was using second gear and still with the standard gearbox. And now I was using first gear, which makes it much more easy to slow down the bike. And also on the exit, because of the horsepower, you can pick the bike up much more early and you can generate a lot more drive, because on the first gear you have more power, which is squashing the shock much more. You can get more drive grip and the bike is going much earlier forward. I use standard shift, so I have to put my foot under the lever to shift the gear, which is quite difficult in that place, but still it works. So you exit here and the line goes more or less like that. You really need to concentrate on that part here, that you're on the inside, because the corner goes, it feels really narrow when you exit the corner. And the last point, which was quite tricky on the beginning, I struggled a lot because the grip is kind of weird there. The track was also pretty dirty. It was looking like there was some mud running over the circuit when it was raining before. So I was not really sure, but then in the end I figured out a pretty good way. It is, here is again a hill. You try to brake later. You need to be careful, because when you go over that hill, you have some little wheelie even on the 600, because it's pretty steep and it goes downhill pretty quick. And you need to make sure that the front is already touching the ground before you press the brake lever, because otherwise you lock the front in the air and then the front comes down with a locked front tire and you're going to crash like in the wet. Here in that corner, it's really, I would say, important to run a lot of lean angle, but you can't, because the grip is really shit. So you need to find some good line, and you need to hold the brake pretty long to squash the front tire on the ground to generate some grip. And then you go here like a V, like that, but you need to be sure that you are not on the inside here. It's really important to be not on the inside here, because otherwise you make the radius of the corner much more tighter than it should be. So you go like, I would say 1.5 or 2 meters off the first touch from the inside apex. You go a little bit wider. I was running always that wide that I thought I'm never going to make it around the corner. And I was preparing the corner because there's a long straight coming, which is from here to here. It's, I don't know, about 900 meters maybe. So you need to make sure that you're going to have a lot of speed there, which you can carry. So you ride it like that, a little bit over the apex here. It's quite grippy, and you cut it completely here. And then, which is really important for the super bikes, in that circle there's also a hill, and you need to make sure that the bike is pretty straight, that you can touch the rear brake, for example, to have less wheelie, because when you lose some time here, because the bike is in a lot of lean angle and you cannot touch the rear lever and you cannot reduce the wheelie, you are not going to have any drive on the let's call it back straight or whatever. So you lose a lot of time on the 800 meters. So yeah, this was how I was improving in Slovakiaring from 2016 with a 2-minute 18 lap time to 2022 with a 2:05 lap time, which is almost the same bike. Yeah, make sure you're going to check out the new merch as well, which is on Instagram. You just need to send me a message, and I hope you like the video. Put some comments about some new ideas, and we are going to check it. Thank you.